Hi, this is Mitchell Hudson again, and I'd like to talk more about absolute and relative position. Okay, so this will be a HTML CSS discussion. And if you recall from the last example, I started with a page that looks something like this, which doesn't look that exciting, but it illustrates some important concepts. And basically, I have a div tag here, which is surrounding an image tag. So the image tag is the child element of the div. And then my styles are basically, image tag gets absolute position, and then I use the top and left properties to set the position of the left and top edge of the image. And then the div tag gets relative position. So the parent element is relative, child element is absolute, and then our child element moves relative or positions itself based on the position of the relative parent. Okay, so that means in this example our box is 50 from the top of the div and 100 from the left of the div. Okay, so that example is okay, but oftentimes you'll want to do something not exactly what I did here. Let's do a practical example using the same concepts. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little change to this. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So here I have my div, and then I have an image tag inside. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to add inside the div here, I'm going to add a paragraph tag. Okay, imagine this is a caption for the image. Okay, so this is caption for this image right here, and I'm going to remove my styles from the style sheet to get started, and then I'll take a quick look at what I have. So I have an image here, and then I have a caption here, and all of this is surrounded by a container div. Let's give that div a style. Let's say div. You are going to have a border of 1 pixel solid red. Okay. And then let's also give the div, well actually let's just stick with that for now. So there's my div. Now the div doesn't have a width, so the box expands to fill the entire width of the browser. Okay, and then it also surrounds height-wise to match the height of the image plus the height of the text here. And then there's a little bit of space at the bottom and the top here because the paragraph tag has margin on the bottom and margin on the top. So the border has to go around that margin. Okay? So what I would like to do is I would like to take this paragraph and move it so that it appears inside of the image here and appears in front of this image. And I want to be able to put it like anywhere inside here, in the center or on the top or on the bottom edge. Okay? Let's do that. So first things first. Since the div is our parent, and I want to be able to position elements inside that box, what I'll do is I will give the div position relative. So that means now I can position the image or the paragraph, if I give them absolute positioning, based on the position of this relative parent. Okay, right? So so I give this guy absolute position, and then I'll take my my paragraph here, and I'll give it position absolute. So the div is relative, paragraph is absolute, and we'll test it here. And you can see everything kind of looks the same, except the box here no longer recognizes the size or height of the paragraph because the paragraph is absolute. Now, I didn't set any position left, top, right, or bottom for the paragraph, so it just sits in its normal spot. But other elements don't recognize this because it's been taken out of the normal flow. So the paragraph now is out of the normal flow because it's position absolute, but it doesn't actually change its position because we haven't set any position property. So let's set a position property. What if I set the top property to 0? Let's test that. Oh look, now it's at the top there. A little hard to see. Let's give it a background color. Okay? So why don't we do paragraph, background, we'll just do white for now. Here, why don't we do blue? I can't decide. What's a good color? Let's do fuchsia. How about that? So let's take a quick look there. Oh, look, there's my paragraph. Hey, that was pretty good. It doesn't look like it's all the way at the top. If you thought the top of 0 would position it here, the problem is the margin. So, the invisible space outside of the box here, the visible part of the box, is called margin, and that is pressed up against the top edge. So if we want to remove the margin to get the box actually to sit flush against the top edge, we'll have to say margin 0 for the paragraph tag. So there's margin 0. Let's see what it looks like now. Hey, that looks pretty good. What if I want to add a little bit of space? I don't like when the text runs right up against the edges. So to put some space inside the box that will be covered by the background color, we'll use padding. So I'll say padding. Let's do 5 pixels of padding on all the sides, just to be simple. And now I get a little bit of padding, okay? So that's pretty good. How do I get the box now to sit in any one of the edges and corners, okay? So right now we're doing top of 0, and then I didn't set the left, so we're just kind of defaulting to the left side. What if I go in here and I got top of 0. What if I change this to bottom of 0? Oh look, now my paragraph goes to the bottom of the image. Okay, let's try another one. What if we change this to, or what if I add right of 0? Oh, now it's all the way to the right of my div. Now that looks a little odd because actually I want it to sit inside this picture. Let's fix that by setting the width of the div to match the width and height of the picture. So I'll say div, you're going to be width 259 pixels, and height is going to be 194 pixels. Oh, and there we go. So now my caption is on the right of 0, bottom of 0. Okay, so you can probably figure out how to position this in each of the 4 corners. I'll just do it for fun. So we're in the lower right now. If I want to go to the upper right, I can do top 0, right 0. Okay. Oh, there we go. What if I did top 0, left of 0, and that should be the upper left corner. And now if I want to do the lower right corner, I can do, the lower left corner, I can do bottom 0, left of 0. There we go. So that basically puts my box in all the 4 corners. Here's a couple bonus items just for fun. I like this color here, but it might be nice if it was a little bit transparent. You could use the opacity property, right? So I could say opacity of 0.5, okay? And when I test that, you can see here that it makes both the background color and the text color transparent, which can sometimes make the text not very legible. So what I would prefer to do in this case, instead of using opacity, what I would do is I would set the background color, instead of fuchsia, let's set it to an RGBA, right? Using opacity, right? The opacity property is going to set the entire transparency for the whole paragraph element. That's background color and text. if I set the color of the background to a transparent color, then it's just the background color that gets set to transparent. And in this case, to give it a transparent color, I need to use the RGBA property. Okay, I got to use RGBA. So basically, RGBA is the red component, green component, blue component, and then the alpha. Okay, that's the A. So the alpha sets the transparency. So in this case, like fuchsia is 100% red. So we say 255 red. The range here is 0 to 255. 0 green, and 255 blue. And then for the alpha property, I'll do 0.5. Let's make that a little more legible there. Okay? So there's my RGBA as the background color for the paragraph. Oh, there we go. Now I got my text is crisp and clear. It's not transparent, but the background color is. Okay? So there's a little added bonus there. Just as another note, if you want the if you wanted your text here to expand to fill the entire box here, normally the paragraph, when you make it position absolute, instead of expanding to fill its container, the box becomes the size of the content. Okay, so what I would like to do here is I would like to set the width of this paragraph to match the width of its container, which in our case is 259 pixels. Here's a little note though. Since I added 5 pixels of padding, the total size of this box is actually going to be 269, because it'll have 5 pixels on the left and 5 pixels on the right. So what I should do is I should compensate for the extra 5 pixels margin on the left and right by subtracting 10 from this width. So if the width of the box is 259, I should set the width here to 249, and then I have an extra 10 here with the 2 margins on the left and right. And there's my box, and it goes all the way across, right? Okay. So anyway, so there's a quick lesson in practical use of position relative and position absolute. And remember, the only reason we can move this box around within this container element is because the container is relative and the paragraph is position absolute. Okay?